Hello. Welcome to Emotional Management for Migrant Women, an Erasmus Plus project funded by the European Union's Erasmus Plus program. In this podcast we will talk about techniques and advice to help migrant women develop self-control within the process of migratory grief. In this space we will address the emotions that accompany migration and how to manage them with emotional intelligence. In this episode we will delve into the complex world of immigration grief, exploring its symptoms, tips for coping, and resources available to women migrants. Migration, although it opens doors to new opportunities, involves a series of challenges. For many women, it means leaving their home, family, and culture behind, creating a roller coaster of emotions: sadness, homesickness, loneliness, anxiety and uncertainty. Therefore, the migration process entails a series of significant losses and changes. From leaving our hometown behind to adapting to a new culture and facing language barriers, each step on this journey can cause a roller coaster of emotions. But how can we better understand this process? To help us answer this question, today we are privileged to have the experience and knowledge of Marta, expert in mental health and migration. In this space we will address the emotions that accompany migration and how to manage them with emotional intelligence. In this episode we will delve into the complex world of immigration grief, exploring its symptoms, tips for coping, and resources available to women migrants. Marta, could you explain to us what migratory grief is and why it is important to address it from an emotional regulation perspective?
Of course. Immigration grief is a psychological and emotional process that people experience when leaving their country of origin, and facing the changes and losses associated with migration. These losses can include separation from loved ones, loss of cultural identity, and coping with new socio-economic realities. Emotional regulation is essential in this process because it allows us to healthily manage the intense emotions that arise during migratory grief, thus facilitating adaptation and personal growth.
What are some symptoms of immigration grief?
There are several symptoms that can appear during migratory grief, such as sadness and nostalgia for the home, family and culture they have left behind. This also causes feelings of loneliness and isolation due to the difficulty in connecting with a new culture and establishing new social relationships. In short, they suffer a culture shock that makes their adaptation difficult. Immigration grief can also produce other symptoms such as anxiety, stress or depression, due to worries about the future and uncertainty about the new life. Now that we understand the importance of emotional regulation in immigration grief, it is crucial to explore some practical strategies to cultivate this skill. From breathing techniques to the power of artistic expression, there are many tools available to help us navigate these turbulent waters. And what can we do to begin this process of emotional regulation? One of the most important things is to seek emotional support and share experiences with other migrants, which can help us feel understood and accompanied on this journey. Whether through support groups, cultural activities, or community events, connecting with our community can be an invaluable source of strength and hope. We must also dedicate time to taking care of our physical, mental and emotional well-being, as it is essential for our health and balance. This can include activities such as regular exercise, meditation, yoga or simply taking a moment to relax and disconnect from daily stress. It is important to emphasize that there is no shame in seeking help when the emotional burden becomes overwhelming. Migration therapists and counselors can provide a safe space to explore our emotions, learn new coping skills, and work toward healing and resilience. As we conclude our journey through emotional regulation in immigration grief, let us remember that each step we take on this path is an act of courage and self-empowerment. Immigration grief is an inevitable process,
But with the right tools, migrant women can overcome it and build a fulfilling life abroad. Remember, you are not alone. We thank you for joining us on this episode and hope that the ideas and tools shared here are helpful to you on your own journey of self-discovery and healing. Remember that emotional intelligence is your best ally to navigate the challenges of migration. Develop your self-control, cultivate your emotional well-being and build a future full of possibilities.